George Sand, A Desire by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, 1806 to 1861. Thou large-brained woman and large-hearted man, self-called George Sand, whose soul amid the lions of thy tumultuous senses moans defiance, and answers roar for roar as spirits can. I would some mild miraculous thunder ran above the applauded circus, in appliance of thine own nobler nature's strength and science, drawing two pinions, white as wings of swan, from thy strong shoulders to amaze the place with holier light than thou to woman's claim and man's mightst join beside the angel's grace of a pure genius sanctified from blame, till child and maiden press to thine embrace to kiss upon thy lips a stainless fame. Okay, this is a sonnet written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. She came from Durham in northeast England. She was the first of 12 children, and she came from a wealthy family that had a lot of influence in the United States and sugar plantations in Jamaica. She participated in exchanging letters with Robert Browning, whom she fell in love with and married. They eloped together because her father refused to allow their marriage, and they lived in Italy. Now, this poem is about George Sand, and it says a desire. And a desire, I think it's called a desire because she wants George Sand to be recognised as the great woman that George Sand was. Let's see, George Sand was a French writer, and she took on the pen name George Sand. Her real name was Aurora Aurora Dupin, and she was one of the most notable European writers of the Romantic era. And let's see, she was an advocate for women's rights and criticised the institution of marriage and many of the prejudices of traditional society. And she had many affairs, and she used to smoke tobacco in public. Ooh, what a scandal. And things like that. She was against discrimination. And this sonnet is Browning's desire, Elizabeth Browning's desire for her greatness to be properly understood. Thou large-brained woman and large-hearted man, self-called George Sand. So, the opening, I think, is very good. It says, a large-brained woman and a large-hearted man. Now, this runs contrary to the stereotypes of the day. Well, I think these stereotypes still exist, that the brain is something that men have, and the heart, the love, is something that women have. And therefore she's a large-brained woman and a large-hearted man. And this is going against the stereotypes of that age. And that is what George Sand was doing. This is what Aurora Dupin was doing. Whose soul, amid the lions of thy tumultuous senses, moans defiance. So your soul, your ideas are amid the lions. You're among society which is complaining and criticizing you continually. The society is calling you subversive, and that your work is subversive, and you are moaning defiance. You are defying what they say because you know what they say is wrong, and answers roar for roar as spirits can. So they roar at you. The lions of society roar at you, or the lions of the status quo roar at you, saying what you're doing is wrong, and you're roaring back saying what your status quo is wrong. That the position of women and the position of men, it should be equal, and you are as a spirit. I would some mild miraculous thunder ran above the applauded circus. So here she's saying that I wish there was thunder and rain above the applauded circus, the circus of the status quo, the circus of what is acceptable, what society deems to be acceptable. That I wish that there was a thunderstorm suddenly above the circus of the norms, the circus of the society saying this is how men must act and this is how women must act. In appliance of thine own nobler nature's strength and science. So I wish that something would happen. There would be a storm above the applauding status quo that applauded the world's norms, and this would be the appliance of your ideas. This would be applying your noble nature and strength. So I wish that something would happen and it would change the status quo, and the status quo would understand the nobler nature of your strength and science, of the way that you are you think. Drawing two pinions as white as wings of swan. So the pinion is the tip of the wing of a bird, and she sees that this is a metaphor that two white pinions would come out and make you into the form of a swan. This is how she sees her, as a white swan over the injustices of the biased society that she lived in and that we still live in. From thy strong shoulders, so these pinions would come out of your shoulders to amaze the place with holier light. So these white wings of yours, these white wings of justice, of truth, would amaze society with the holier light, and it would amaze society so that society could see what you are saying is right, and that thou to woman's claim and man's might join beside the angel's grace, and that that what you're saying, that women and the contribution of women and men to society is something that's equal, and that these wings will lift her above the crowd, so people can see who she truly is, and they see the fact that she's that her writing, that her work is as good or better than any man's, and man's, mightst join beside the angel's grace, so that your writing will be praised as genius, as heavenly genius, of a pure genius sanctified from blame. So that you're not going to be blamed anymore for your opinions, because they will be understood as right, and your genius will be understood. Till child and maiden press to thine embrace, to kiss upon thy lips a stainless fame. Well, here child and maiden is referring to Mary and the baby Jesus, and you will be accepted until Mary and Jesus embrace you, and they kiss you, and they make it clear why your work is so important, that your fame will stand above all, and everyone will clearly see why what you're saying is important. So, George Sand, A Desire by Elizabeth Barrett Browning.